Hi everyone. I'm going to spare you my video right now because, as you can probably tell from my voice, I'm under the weather. And as I said to all of you in email, I've got COVID. So the joy continues with that particular virus. However, that being said, I'm happy to kind of record this for you. And it's one of my favorite topics as we begin the semester. And the topic is a common fear that trainees have, and that is I'm anxious about starting therapy. What if I don't know what to do when I actually get in the room with someone that I'm supposed to be helping? Now, before we jump into this, and this will be a relatively brief lecture, I want you to take out a piece of paper or something to type on because I'm going to ask you to take a few notes at one point during this brief lecture. So I'm going to present you three what I consider to be fundamental ingredients in doing psychotherapy. And again, these are not empirically supported treatment approaches. These are just Dr. Ha telling you if you get nervous, if you get anxious, this is what you can do. Always come back to these three things. And to be honest with you, there is some empirical support for these as well. The first thing comes or is demonstrated by a philosopher, Thich Nhat Hanh. And you have a video that has a interview done by Oprah Winfrey with him about this concept. And I'll just read you the quote here that I absolutely love. And he says, "To love means to listen. This capacity to truly listen, to perceive and experience another human being wholly, comes exclusively through the act of listening. It is the power to behold." I always tell beginning students, when in doubt, shut up and listen. Ask questions, listen to your clients. If you ever feel yourself stuck, ask another question and listen. The second fundamental ingredient, and this is attributed to me, I'll take all the credit, but I often say, when in doubt, be a good human and build good relationships. Now, over the years, I've actually included that good to emphasize the sense that there's a difference between being a human and being a good human, as unfortunately all of us know. And there's a difference between just simply being a human in isolation and being a human being in relationship to others. And so what I'm really talking about here is how do we build and cultivate relationships with other people. And this is the part where I'm going to ask you to take out that piece of paper, your computer, whatever it is, and I want you to just reflect for a second on this question. And the question is, what does it mean? What do people who you have a good relationship with do for you? And how would you characterize these relationships? So what would you consider to be a good human being? What are the characteristics that you would consider to be a good relationship that you have or have had? And I'll just stop for a second and let you jot a few notes down. Okay, you can always reflect on that more with some additional time, but I'll cut you off right there. Bring those to class with you. We'll talk about them, whether it be hopefully this week when I see you or next week if we don't have the ability to meet this week. That leads us to our third and final fundamental ingredient, according to Dr. Ha. And I love to bring in good old Winnie the Pooh here because who doesn't need a good Winnie the Pooh shot to make us cheery and hopeful and whatever else Winnie the Pooh does for you. But Winnie the Pooh, if you know Winnie the Pooh, when he gets into difficulty, when he gets into a situation where he doesn't know what to do, he goes to his thoughtful spot. Obviously not spelled correctly, but he goes to his thoughtful spot and he sits down on a log and he thinks and he thinks and he thinks. And the reason that I kind of love this is not just because I love Winnie the Pooh and think he encapsulates everything in our world in many ways, but because I will emphasize over and over the ability to conceptualize, to think about your clients, to think about what they're going through, to think about their history, to think about their cultural, to think about their lived experiences. Who is this person sitting across from you, and how do you understand the things that they're going through from their unique perspective, their own unique world, and their worldviews? And so when in doubt, always think. Always think about what you're doing. I am a very, 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 very big proponent of reflective processing, of reflective learning. This is why you'll do so much of it in my class, because I really believe it has value. And in the psychotherapy process, that value is to always be thinking. I come home from a day of psychotherapy, and my family often goes, why are you so exhausted? You just sat on your butt for like 8 hours. Never really 8 hours, but 6 hours, whatever. Why are you so exhausted? It's because I've always been engaged in these very processes that I've described to you here. I've been listening intently. I've been trying to be a good human being in a good relationship with my clients. And I'm constantly thinking about what my client is going through at any given moment. And that very process is exhausting, right? So I'll summarize. When in doubt, when you're anxious, when you don't know what to do, and I don't care if you're working with children, I don't care if you're working with adolescents, I don't care if you're working with adults at whatever span, part of their lifespan, these three fundamental things will always save you. Shut up and listen. Think about what you're doing, and continue to form and maintain good, effective relationships with other people. Don't be scared. You can all do this.